and I need to kill this Wi-Fi before I drive out from the house. So we'll see. Make sure this video isn't choppy. Yo, 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 this is TechP, and this is TechP What's the What? I'm uh I'm jumping in today uh, to share a bit about how things have been going for me the last few days. The purpose of the TechP What's the What space for me is to be able to come in and flow and tell the reality of whatever it is that I'm attempting to manifest through. And so I say it that way because I always imagine this space of when I show up on the TechP What's the What, to me, just like I said, like I'm soaring, I'm flying, I'm high, like I'm feeling good, like I'm not feeling the weight of my burdens. And so the reason why I think I do that is because that's when I feel like I should create. That's when I feel creative. And so, but I noticed that when I only do it when I feel like I'm flying high, it gives a false impression of how I'm really doing, maybe to some, um, and it doesn't allow for me to talk about the journey or share the journey of perseverance through tribulation and trials. And so today I'm jumping in because I feel a little bit better than I have over the last, call it, week. I've really been, there's a lot going on. I am building a company and telling the story of how that's going on, of one integration, and then also, supporting others like Frank and the older doctors through the Diverse Perspectives team. Uh, you know, those things are happening. That's real. But I also have this story that caused me to go to this place of having to be this way, this thing that changed me. And it was really about this trauma that took place in the workplace. And we all know that workplaces are, you know, as you say, that they're not your family. And then some say, well, we're our family. They are a place where you you see, they can be a place where you see people get away with doing wrong and violating the code of conduct to the point where it's just normal, and nobody really expects for these types of things to be uh, to ever make it to the light of day, because somehow or another things just end up going into a dark hole. And maybe one day sometimes somebody gets held accountable for something, but it's really not the case consistently. Nobody can figure that out. Universally, when I talk to people normally say, yeah, HR doesn't work. This is what I hear. Would love to know if you guys hear something different, or if there's someone in HR that wants to stand up and say, hey, look. Now, I will say that there are healthy workplace cultures out there. I've learned that. I see that. But there are many that are not. And I just happen to be impacted by one that wasn't, and that isn't. And it's changed me in a way that I'm still learning, I should say. I'm still in the, and it's impacted me in a way that I can feel every day, whether it be, you know, the flow of my family, the, I mean, I can go on and on and on. Just know, and all of the things that I care about, and you guys see that I'm pretty open. Uh, my family means everything to me, and so I think I'm probably being Captain Obvious here, because I think that's probably the case for everybody. I would imagine, and so not being able to be my normal self with them for the last 3 years has been a challenge. But they've done great with it. It's it's amazing. Last night at dinner, uh, I told my wife, I said, "Hey, don't let me forget to tell you something about how the Lincoln University story is impacting me." And my 12-year-old says, "Are you talking about the lady that wasn't treated fairly in the workplace, and they didn't listen to her, and she ended up killing herself?" I said, "Where did you hear of this? Where did you learn of this?" He said, "On my Chromebook." And I said, "Okay." He said, "And it reminded me of you and how you were treated at work." And I had to just pause, breathe, and then took a few bites, and then to excuse myself to regain my composure. And so, and this is not something that, you know, one would talk to their children about. Um, but he knows, and I'll never forget that. So, what I was wanting to talk to my wife about was that I had wrote on LinkedIn a comment sharing the specifics of what took place in this toxic workplace culture, and I had wrote it on LinkedIn, and I had talked about the upcoming arbitrations and depositions, and really shared that having to deal with all of the weight of all of these things is exhausting. I'm exhausted. And I tagged the chief HR officer of the company because she know what's up. I told her already. I don't know what they thought, but I told them. And so I wrote about how I'm feeling right now in this part of the journey. And as you guys are aware, no one comments or engages, but people are watching because people talk to me about it. But this time someone did. Her name was Sheila. And Sheila told me that, oh yeah, what you're going through and what you're talking about is real. I went through it too. She said, I went through it too. And she wrote her comment. I'll make it to where you guys can see this when I cut all this up. Um, and that's what I was telling my wife to tell. I was saying to her, I want to talk to you about how this story has been impacting me. And then I also want to talk to you about this person who commented on this thing. And when I reached out, when she commented and it touched me, I immediately went to connect with her because she was not in my network. She was from another network. And then I told her, hey, I would love to speak to you. And then she sent me her information. So I was trying to tell my wife about that. And so this morning, guess who I talked to? I talked to Miss Sheila. And it was an amazing conversation. She's been this path before. She's a guide. I built Once Integration to be a guide.